Betty Brand, Administrator, USDA Being Development. We're in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the San Juan Investment Summit.
Yes, sir.
Why is USDA here?
Because it's very important for us to both be available here for the communities in San Juan and in Puerto Rico, but also to talk and have discussions with the lenders that are also here at this summit, looking for partnerships because as we've heard over and over again today, we can't do it by ourselves. The federal government can't, the Puerto Rican government can't, but certainly together we can help the rural communities build back after the storms and grow and develop the rural economy.
Put this into context. How big of a project is this? How big of a commitment does USDA have to help rebuilding the island?
I would say the commitment to rebuilding the island is as strong as it is in any of our rural communities. We have a very dedicated team here working for rural development here in Puerto Rico. They are an amazing group. They're very passionate, and I think their commitment is certainly reinforced by our commitment to them and to the communities.
As you can tell, this is a special session of Coleman Report Live. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be interviewing 4 or 5 people from this event. We thought you'd give a little bit different flavor of what's happening, but Puerto Rico is very interesting. I didn't realize some of these numbers. They've been in a recession for 12 years.
Yes, and I think that that does set them apart. The things they are dealing with, like all rural communities, they have those issues to deal with, but they also have the recession, the storms, and one of the worst disasters in American history as far as a natural disaster. So they really have had a lot to deal with. But the amazing thing is what I've learned in touring the island and being here these last couple of days especially is so positive, so resilient that I think that will really make a big difference.
Give me a case study. Give me an example of something good USDA Rural Development has done for a particular small business on the island.
I saw 2 of them just in the last day or 2.
Okay, you can give me 2.
All right, I'll give you 2 of them. So the first one was an incredible operation. A husband and wife team has a mushroom farm, one of the first or only mushroom farms on the island. And it was an attorney and an engineer husband partnership. They have the talent, the skills, the background to be an incredible partner and a really successful story. Growing mushrooms, which is so vital. It's one of the agriculture is so important to the economy. The other
and how big was that loan and how many employees?
So they have like 70 employees,
wow.
I believe, and it is very labor-intensive, hand-picking the mushrooms, and they turn over a room of mushrooms, I think, every 21 days, but wow. They work 7 days a week. We actually were able to help them in 2 ways very significantly. One with a value-added producer grant, where they were able to do some planning, and they would like to develop the mushrooms into a value-added product, a veggie burger that they'll be working on and hope to release soon. And then they also, energy is such a huge cost. And of course, on the island with the storm, they lost that. And to have some greater sustainability, we were able to help them with the REAP grant, which allowed them to put solar panels on the roof, and they hope to expand that, reduce their energy costs by 60%.
Well, yeah, in Puerto Rico, electricity is an issue. Expand on that. REAP, Puerto Rico, I assume that is doing great for the local community as well as the business.
Yes, the REAP is the Rural Energy for America program, and certainly it's used all over, but helping producers, agriculture producers is one of the customers that benefit from that program, and allowing them to first offering grants to have energy assessments. Where could they save? It's not always just new equipment or new refrigeration or new solar sources, but then helping them assess and then helping them really have the money to put in those either solar panels or whatever it is that help them become more efficient.
All right, I asked you for 1, but you teased for 2. So real quick, the second one.
The second one was a great story of a company, a manufacturing company that has injected molds, and it was a company that was going to go out of business. The employees didn't want to lose the jobs. They felt very strongly about it, and they bought the company, and we were able to come in with some help for them to expand. And again, and then in that process, also looking at energy efficiency so they could improve their cash flow.
And saved how many jobs?
I think they said they had 125.
Awesome. Real quick, We have a number of SBA lenders on the line, and they know how to spell USDA rural development, but they probably haven't used it. So go ahead, give me your elevator pitch why SBA lenders should also use USDA BNI.
Because it's a good combination. We're a good team. We can come in with the larger real estate. We don't have the dollar limits that some of the SBA programs have, but the partnership is where they can come in with the cash flow, the money to use operating and partner with us. So the programs are not duplicative, but they certainly are complementary.
Oh, and you'll do a nonprofit?
Yes, we do nonprofits, for-profit, cooperatives, and any type of entity.
Real quick, describe the 4 legs of the stool of rural development.
4 pillars?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, trying to focus on the operation becoming more efficient, looking like the private sector and lending. We're a big lender. And so one would be the outreach, the marketing, the economic development. The other would be the underwriting, the servicing, and then also the distress loan counting as far as handling those loans if they do become distressed, and then the policy and the management of the programs.
Betty, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. It's always good to talk to you. Betty Brand, the administrator, the administrator of USDA Rural Development. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Thank you all for joining us. Our next guest is, where are you? We're speaking up behind me. Bruce Lambers with Byline Bank, the president of the National Association of Rural Lenders.
Yes.
Bruce, we're talking with quite a few SBA 7A and BNI lenders. First of all, tell us what the National Association of Rural Lenders is.
Well, before I do that, I want to say that we're really lucky to have Betty. She is a star for the USDA program, and I think part of our purpose with the National Rural Lenders Association is to interact with the USDA, and we've really built a nice relationship as a group with the USDA, but it is because of people like Betty and Mark that have been very open to working with us.
Well, let me start out with the same question I asked Betty. What do you say to the SBA lenders out there who haven't used USDA yet?
Don't. Leave it all for us. But no, it's a good program. It's very complementary with SBA. We use it in conjunction with SBA. We use SBA and USDA together. And so do the other sponsors that are here today are Byline, Live Oak, and Touchmark, and then USAF. And I want to make sure that I recognize those of us that wrote a check to sponsor this event.
Well, talk about how easy is it to join the National Association of Rural Lenders?
Just come on, get us the email, and you're going to get an invite. You're going to get so many emails back that you won't know what to do with it.
Tell us a little bit about the summit. We had 3 tiers, 3 throngs. We had investors, lenders, and the government. We started out this morning. We had the regional administrator from Region 2, which encompasses Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands. We also had the district director, gave great presentations. So you've done a great job in getting the buy-in from not only SBA, USDA, the cabinet level positions on Puerto Rico.
I'm impressed at the turnout that we have here, and the quality of the presenters has been very good. I went up and met with the gentleman that presented for SBA today, and he did a great job recognizing the local contributors as well as the national contributors. So they have the local folks involved as well as the national level. There might be something to do with the sun and the sand and the beach.
And it's 23 degrees in Atlanta.
And it was 12 degrees yesterday when I left Milwaukee. So it's a nice place to be.
Mission of National Rural Lenders?
I think in a way we're trying to promote more availability of capital for small business and rural business, and to do that we spent a good amount of time in Washington, and we've made some good progress. We're working on getting the USDA to a zero subsidy for the BNI program, and it's incredible the progress that we've made in trying to work as a team with the USDA.
The main theme that the government officials from Puerto Rico have said, access to capital. Small business lending is down 45% over the last 10 years, and they are really embracing the lending community, and they want to work with them.
Well, this is where I get to have a pitch. If anybody wants to be an SBA lender in Puerto Rico, call me because this looks like a good market.
Bruce Lammers, Byline Bank. Bruce, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, very good. Lance is taking the week off, by the way, just so you know where that is. We're going to hold off on questions for next week. We have some questions, but we decided just to do a live show and bring in some guests. Who's up? Giovanni, come here. Welcome. Giovanni is our Puerto Rican SBA lender. I'm going to let you pronounce your last name.
Giovanetti.
Okay, yeah. Well, she's president of.
COFEC.
And tell us what you do.
Yes, we are a certified CDFI. We are also an SBA micro lender, an SBA community advantage lender, and an SBA certified development company.
How important has SBA been to rebuilding Puerto Rican industry?
Very important, not only the disaster loans, but the loans that we have been able to originate through all our SBA programs have been very important in helping small businesses to recover and to stand on their feet again.
We heard a great presentation this morning about SBA Administrator Linda Iman is very committed to Puerto Rico. Tell us more about her passion for getting the territory back on its feet.
We are very grateful that the SBA administrator is still thinking about us and still providing us all the support. I met yesterday with the regional administrator, and he gave us this great message about how the SBA administrator is thinking about Puerto Rico. She wants to support our island a lot more, and I think she has done a great job bringing all the disaster resources here on the island that as of today, they are still here. So this is great.
Give us a little context of the amount of the damage. What percentage of the electric grid went down?
100%.
And communications?
100%.
And what unique challenges did that cause? Go ahead. For people who are watching, I didn't know the extent of the damage. So give us a little history and context of what's happened.
I can tell you that Puerto Rico is such a beautiful island, but after it was hit by Hurricane Maria, it looked like a war zone. Everything was devastated around us. And the situation about not finding food, not finding water, looking at our homes destroyed, and especially about small businesses. 40% of the small businesses closed operations.
That's what I wanted to ask you. 40%. How many jobs were lost?
Thousands of jobs. And I can tell you more than 30,000 people lost their jobs, including small businesses and those that work for private companies. So there has been a huge job loss. And we're trying now to recover these by financing new businesses in the microloan, in the 504, and in Community Advantage now. So we are looking for new ways to support small businesses. And where a small business closed, one new will open. I am definitely very positive about that, and thanks to the SBA, and we also have the IRP program from Rural Development Agency, so we're also impacting small businesses in rural areas.
Giovanni, thank you so much, and may you and all your friends recover quickly, and as well as Puerto Rican Main Street. Very good. Thank you. Very good. That was Giovanni Piavanetti. Wait, one more time. What does COFECC stand for?
It's Corporation for the Entrepreneurship Financing of Commerce and Communities, but we have a new brand name. It's called Land Dreams, so it's easier for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's bring in Mike Thomas. Mike, come on in. Mike's good. Good to see you. You're looking good. Mike, what an amazing band. How many people showed up here?
Last count I had 165.
Awesome. And let's start with one of the big themes of the morning was Opportunity Zone. Tell us about that.
Opportunity zone. 94% of Puerto Rico is an opportunity zone, and that means you can take capital gains, and rather than realizing them and pay the tax, you can invest them in projects down here. You stay in for 10 years, you basically get the money back with no tax.
Why are you bullish in lending to Puerto Rico as well as the Virgin Islands?
Okay. Well, one, we've done a lot in the Virgin Islands where we are the main group down there lending. So we've gotten to know the area, and I've seen, the Virgin Islands has $8 billion of FEMA money, and I think it's going to be $100 billion here. And what that's going to do is get both these islands up and running again with all their infrastructure being straightened out. And
We heard this morning about the commitment by the Administrator Linda McMahon supporting all of its disaster programs. The numbers were 56,000 loans, $2 billion. You're more of a USDA specialist. Tell us what the commitment is from the USDA C-suite, so to speak, in terms of rebuilding this island.
well, I don't think they have an actual number that they put on it, but since the hurricane in St. Croix, we've closed 40 million in loans, and so we're very happy. And this is a bigger area than the Virgin Islands, so I think it can run into the hundreds of millions of dollars in REAP loans. They need that.
You just mentioned REAP. There's someone out there who doesn't know what a REAP is, so go ahead, give that definition.
REAP is a rural energy power loan, and we're using them for solar. You can use it for other things too. There's plenty of money. It mirrors the B&I loan program, and you can actually do a REAP loan with a companion B&I loan, and you could throw some SBA in there too. So
Most of the people here are SBA lenders. I asked Bruce earlier, I would ask you the same question. Give a pitch on why an SBA lender should look into USDA rural development lending.
why an SBA lender?
Let's assume they're not doing that.
Let me tell you the advantage of the rural development. SBA, once you get to 5 million, you're locked out. Rural development, you could do up to 50 million to any one individual, different corporations and all that. So it's a one where you can grow with the client.
Very much. And as we said, you can do it for nonprofit, but I like what you said, and you can make multiple loans to the same borrower.
Right.
Hey, Mike, thanks for stopping by. Great event. Oh, can we give a tease for where we're going next?
I think there's going to be something on the other ocean.
Palm trees involved?
Palm trees. It'll probably be.
Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Well, we'll just leave it at that. Maybe in June?
No, I think it's going to be pushed back because of budgetary constraints. But I think probably next January or February.
Very good. Mike, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Come on in, Thomas. And our last guest is Thomas Kimsey, the president of Thomas USAF.
How you doing? Good afternoon.
Tell us about the event.
Well, we're just excited to be here in Puerto Rico. We've hosted 2 other events last year, one in Atlanta and one in Denver, and we're just excited to be here in Puerto Rico. They need access to capital here to rebuild after the hurricanes, and that's why we're here.
Tell me what Thomas USAF does.
Thomas USAF is a leading buyer and originator of USDA loans all across the country, including all the U.S. territories over in Hawaii, Guam, here in Puerto Rico, as well as the Virgin Islands. And we've deployed a lot of capital in the Virgin Islands, and we want to do it here in Puerto Rico to help them as well.
Well, as one of the sponsors of the event, I'm very, very impressed. You got SBA Regional Administrator, you got the USDA Administrator, Betty Brand, we talked to her. You got the leading politicians in Puerto Rico, the head of economic development. Tomorrow we're going to have the Congresswoman. How'd you pull all this together?
Well, it's been a lot of work, Bob. We've been working on this for several.
I know, no. The answer is good staff. You didn't do anything, I know.
I got to throw it out to Natalie in our office, who did a lot of behind the scenes putting this together, and we've been working on this for months. And we're just proud to be here. We really want to do the mission of providing access to capital here, and that's what we do all across America, and we're going to do it here as well.
Well, you could just the electricity in the room is vibrant. You could tell. Puerto Rico is coming back. All the negative news of the bankruptcy, and then what do they call it? The hurricanes. The hurricanes.
That's right. So it's just good to be here. We've got almost 165 people in there. As you said, the energy is high, and they're excited for us to be here. We're excited to be here to partner with the USDA and SBA, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to help the Puerto Rico.
Let's go ahead and conclude with the trade organization. Tell us a little bit about it and what's your mission.
Sure. The National Rural Lenders Roundtable is our trade organization. If anybody would like to be part of us, certainly reach out to myself or Natalie in our office, and
Or just send me an email. I'll shoot it over to them.
yeah, absolutely. We're representing rural America, rural lending, and that's what we're doing.
Thomas, great event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
And I thought you would like a little different program today. We had it was very fascinating to hear about Puerto Rico. But again, my takeaway is the commitment by the government in terms of government of Puerto Rico, SBA, and USDA has been phenomenal. I mean, they got on a plane. Now I know what the temperatures are in the United States. And of course, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. But as our pilot said yesterday, this is the only part of the United States that has temperatures in excess of 70 degrees. I think maybe Hawaii may be in there as well. Hey, that's it for this week. And I will talk to you, and Lance will be back. We'll talk to you next Thursday. Thank you all very much.